Hey everybody, it's the Nitty Professor, and today I asked ChatGPT to suggest to me 10 intriguing topics for me to discuss in a knitting podcast. So we'll start with number one, it's the random order that ChatGPT gave me, right? So, by the way, I took a course in AI a year ago. It was really interesting, so I do enjoy using it, especially for a purpose like this. So the first topic that ChatGPT suggests is, look up, Pierce, knitting in unusual places. And it suggests stories of people knitting on mountaintops, underwater, or during marathons. I'll have to look into that. I'm curious if you are aware of any individuals who have done this kind of thing. It would be kind of interesting to research. So, and the other question that's like in the back of my mind is, which of these topics should I address? Maybe all of them. I could just try to address them all, do some research, or maybe pick the top 5 or the top 3, see what I come up with. All right, so topic number 2, fiber art legends. It says, interesting, because since I'm researching blindness for my novel and my work, it says highlight blind or visually impaired artists pushing the boundaries of fiber arts. And that could actually be pretty interesting. I did discover at one point a multimedia artist in England who was doing his doctoral work on multisensory art and is blind. So that could be an example. I'll have to look into that one. That would tie in with my own research. Okay, here's topic number 3. Yarn myths and folklore explore the history of knitting superstitions like sailors' sweaters and their unique stitch patterns. Although I thought that sailor sweaters' unique stitch patterns was real. Is that a superstition? So I don't know. Of course, we all know that AI hallucinates, right? So, maybe I should ask AI if sailors' sweaters and their unique stitch patterns is a myth or not. Maybe you know something about that. If you do, let me know. Here's one that I could see pursuing. In fact, when I think of Gillian Eve, I think of this. And Shanti Manu, she was a German spinner who podcasted for 7 years, and then she kind of said, nope, she was done, which made me sad. But in any case, it says, the science of wool. Delve into how different fibers interact with temperature, moisture, and even sound. That kind of leads me to the idea of the uses of wool, because I've read a lot about how some sheep farmers really, kind of struggle to find a market for their wool. It ends up being insulation. Of course, now there's this whole dryer ball movement that a lot of people do. So I have wool dryer balls myself. Heck, I think Great Value even has its own dryer balls made of wool. It'd be hard to imagine them made of any other material and have them actually work. Here comes, we're getting halfway through the list now, knitting and pop culture. Discuss iconic knitted pieces in movies, TV shows, and music videos. And I think we could add to that, probably discuss iconic people who would knit in certain movies. And I've looked this up before, and it's a little bit harder than I think it should be to find actors and actresses knitting in movies and TV shows. Although I ran across it, and then I'm like, they're actually knitting. So even in fairly recent, I think knitting has made this kind of a comeback, maybe since, 2020. It does seem like it's getting more common. So I should ask ChatGPT if it could suggest some of these pieces, and going into more like the actual people who are well known. Okay, now we're over the hump here onto topic, and I just told it to give me 10 topics. I'm sure had I asked ChatGPT for 100 topics, it would have obliged without a problem. So we can do this again. If you enjoy it, and maybe you have something that you would like to add. So in any case, number 6, eco-friendly knitting. Talk about, and this could work for crochet too, right? It could work for weaving, spinning. Talk about sustainable yarns, natural dyeing techniques, and zero waste projects. The zero waste, that I get right away, because I see people, for example, frogging sweaters and reusing the yarn. Or I've looked into how, I have all these little itty bitty ends, that I've cut off when I wove in the ends or whatever. And I've kept them all, and I've gotten some pretty good ideas for what I could use them for. So, and sustainable yarn, yeah, I've seen people talk about that too. You might have some ideas in that regard. I guess any yarn that's natural is sustainable. Maybe. Although there's some yarns that are made unethically with regard to animal care. So that's an issue. Okay, this is one that comes up regularly. This is number 7. So ChatGPT suggestion number 7. I talk about this sort of at least obliquely in my knitting videos, podcasts, etc. It says knitting is therapy. Share stories of people who use knitting for mental health, recovery, or meditation. I mean, heck, that's like most of us, right? So there are some people who knit for just the sheer utilitarian aspect of it, or I don't know, maybe to look cool. I don't know. But I think I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that most of us knit for our mental health. I was talking to my son yesterday about his difficulty in sleeping, and I was like, and that's when I had the idea. I did a German video about falling asleep when I knit, because got a cat playing a piano. Hi, Paris. It relaxes me to the point where a lot of times I just flat have to take a nap at the end of a long day or a long week. This week's going to be even longer because tomorrow I have orchestra all day. We got a dress rehearsal and a big concert, so my Saturday's kind of spoken for. Number 8. I should let you start guessing the other topics it's going to come up with. But in any case, it says yarn travel logs. Interview people who travel to collect rare or local yarns or explore fiber festivals worldwide. So to an extent, I've embarked on that journey. I don't have enough money to go and just travel worldwide, but I certainly do like to buy yarn in different places in different countries. And I spent time in Norway. I spent time in Denmark. It would be interesting to interview people. I don't know if I have the means to actually do that. I can watch Fiber Chats and watch her interview that kind of people. But maybe I could learn about that kind of people and learn about the places where they go and project maybe the possibility of picking a few of those locations for myself to explore. So here's another topic, and I think ChatGPT knows some of the stuff that I look up. So it's got for number 9, blind knitting techniques, spotlight adaptive tools, tactile patterns, and inspiring makers. And I would be really interested in that because I kind of view my main character in my current novel, her name is Nicole, as an inspiring maker. That's like what I want her to be in the novel. And this is just an interesting tidbit. So I study Braille, as a lot of you know, and I had to do an assignment last semester in one of my courses where we looked up and recommended 3 websites that we think are important for teachers of the blind and visually impaired. And I went to the Braille Authority of North America, so it's BANA. And lo and behold, the first thing I saw on their webpage was an updated list of Braille instructions for knitting patterns. And I thought that was just so exciting because it had a lot of really advanced type techniques, stuff I haven't even tried, like complicated cables, double knitting. And I was asking myself, how would a blind person follow a colorwork pattern, for example? And some people have tried to talk me out of the idea that blind people are interested in color. Well, a lot of people are just visually impaired. They can see color, but they might not be able to see well enough to actually follow their knitting. So they want the color in there. Plus, blind people want to look colorful, fashionable. They enjoy wearing bright colors because they know it affects the people around them. So that's something I want to learn more about. And maybe as I do some of this research, I actually think it's a good suggestion. I could report on it. All right, so here we come. Suggestion number 10. Kind of bit interesting. Look out, mistletoe. Look out. This is really important, mistletoe. The future of knitting. Imagine what knitting might look like with advancements in technology like smart textiles or 3D printed yarn. How are you going to print 3D yarn with wool? I don't know. This is kind of suggesting a future of knitting that I'm not sure I would welcome. I don't know, but it might be worth looking into. I suppose if you wanted to use yarn for a fiber installation and you just needed a quantity, I don't know. Even when you 3D print, you have to use some kind of material, right? So I don't know. And then, of course, so here's something about AI that I learned that apparently is really critical. You can confirm for me if you agree with this or not. But our teacher was adamant that if you are polite when you ask ChatGPT your questions, you're going to get better results. And we were all skeptical, this is like through the University of Pennsylvania. People were like, we're all researchers, we're all scholars. We're like, oh, no, that can't be. But they just swore up and down. Yes, they've given it many trials. And if you're polite and you say please and thank you, you're going to get more useful results. So I have adopted that. Hey, yeah, she wants to eat my hand cream. Come here, mistletoe. I have adopted that strategy. And pretty much every time I go into ChatGPT, I'm very polite. So ChatGPT is very polite in turn. And no, we don't need to cats. We don't need to fight. So it's very polite. So at the end here, it's like offering this, favor. Would you like me to flesh out one of these topics or help you brainstorm an episode outline? Let me know. If it generated an episode outline, like, would I be able to follow through? Would I have to rely on ChatGPT to give me all the information? I don't know. So anyhow, let me know what you think of ChatGPT's suggestions. And if there are any that you think, you should pursue those and follow through with those, let me know. And I'd be game. I'm a pretty good researcher. Heck, I've written a lot of books, not just fiction. So, and I think there are actually, some of these are pretty good topics. I could learn something really useful. Hi, Paris. Paris was when I was playing the piano. What are you doing? You going to go fight with the cat, huh? Probably. All right, so that's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and heck, I had fun. I might do it again. So I hope you all enjoy your next knitting session, and I'm going to enjoy mine. So take care. See you soon. Bye.